There were 3 men in a boat with 4 cigarettes and no matches. How did they manage to smoke? They threw 1 cigarette overboard and made the boat a cigarette lighter.
You saw him with the lighter. I handed back his cross.
Alright, guys.
Riddled.
I thought
So,
you might be Batman.
this is obviously the first ever episode of the Batman show in 1966. Today, however, is the first episode of Build the Batmobile, the 1966 TV series. Now, there's a couple of videos out there that people have done that we're going to build this that have built and I have completed this, but I'm going to do this a little different. I've done a little research on this stuff, and there's this book is basically like a little magazine. Okay, it's got the publishers, you got people that worked on it, and let me pause the Batman real quick. So basically, this is the first section of the magazine. It's called the TV show. It then goes into what is called the Great Batman Comics, and then it moves into another section called Batman Year by Year. I'm going to show you this magazine because a lot of the people that I've seen haven't shown the cool stuff that comes with this. And while we're building this, this is so basically, if you can see, the first TV show, season 1, episode 1, debuted in January of 1966. The first TV foe was the Riddler, and originally it aired twice a week, half-an-hour episodes on consecutive nights. So there'd be, episode 1 would end on a cliffhanger. In this episode, it's where Batman does his famous dance, which I didn't know until recently. So you can see right there, that's the end of the show that we just saw, right? And some of the stuff that we used in this movie, in this was the anti-theft. You got also the anti-fire activator. This is the one where Batman dances, bats us, and it ends on the cliffhanger. The next thing that it goes by, you can see here, is called Great Batman Comics. So this one talks about, the Dark Knight Returns, and it was written by Frank Miller. It was volume 1 of June of 1986. The story culminated basically at the end with Superman versus Batman. They had a fight at the end. Final takedown, you can see here, Batman fighting. And look how detailed this book is, right? Gives you a little backstory about each element of this comic that was featured would be, Dark Knight Returns. Okay, the original cover from 1986. Okay, and then it jumps into Batman Year by Year. Now, basically, to sum it down, May of 1939. Here it is, right here. A lot of people have this as a poster. A lot of people have the comic. Detective Comics number 27 premiered The Batman. It moved on to the next, 5? So number 28 through 33 basically showed some crime fighting, his crime fighting prowess. Also, it showed a little bit of his love interest. It showed a lot of the villain named Monk. The bat plane and the batarangs were used for the first time. And also, it took over. Basically, this was such a popular hit at that time. It took over that they had to do a prelude. So number 33, issue number 33, introduced Batman and how he became to be, which is basically the Dark Knight's origin. You know, the famous way, you know, everyone knows about how he died, his parents and everything. You can see here, the boy's eyes are wide with terror and shock as the horror scene is spread before him. Father, mother, dead? They're dead? So this is it right here. This is, you know, we've seen it in so many iterations on TV and on movies, different directors' takes. This is the very first original take right here of the origin of Batman. His parents died in the alley and how he becomes Batman. Now here I don't see James Gordon. I haven't really dug into this, but it looks like he says here, days later, a curious and strange scene takes place, and I swear by the spirits of my parents to avenge their deaths by spending the rest of my life wearing on all criminals. Wow. So you can see he becomes a scientist probably here, gets really strong, he sees a bat, gets inspired, and now he's Batman. Crazy. So, like I said, the first three sections, you got the TV show, which talks about the Riddler and how he was the first one, and it ends on a cliffhanger. We talked about the Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller, and his take on the Batman, a little darker version. And in this version, I didn't know, but he fights Superman. So I'm gonna read this comic because this seems pretty cool. I've become a political liability, and you're a joke. Who says that? I want to know who says that. That has to be a Batman thing, right? I've become and you're a joke. So maybe he's calling Superman a joke? Crazy. And then we talk about the beginning of Batman, premiered in 1939. Basically the first, 5 issues, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, are all dedicated to the Batman. And they probably had a different plan, but because he was such a hit, I mean, you have to think that they just continue to push it. And they gave him a double issue, Batman versus Dr. Death, and continued to where they needed a prelude, and they went here. So that's where that's where you could say the information line of this stage ends. This is stage 1. Now it goes into step by step, guys. So now we're gonna build the Batmobile. This is stage 1, of course. Stage 1, your car parts. So stage 1, we're gonna get a hood frame, a bat phone base, and it also gives you the stuff you need: a screwdriver and 10 plus 2. So you're gonna get 12 of these little screws. Gives you a little picture of each thing. The hood, look at that. That's the bat phone. Okay. And then let's go flip the page. So that tells you where the part locator is. What are we building today? We're building the bat phone and we're building the hood. Okay, cool. And it breaks it down for you. So it looks like under the base of the hood, we're gonna install the hood frame. Protect the paintwork. To ensure you do not scratch any of the pre-finished surfaces, always work on a soft cloth. Very, 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 very important right there. See that? They give you little tidbits. Assembling the bat phone. Looks like I just clicked that on there. Insert the bat base. It is not held by screws. And the result. So basically, we're just putting together the hood and the bat phone. Not a lot of steps, and it ends like that. That's stage 1. Okay. And this is the stage 1. So it comes in a box like this. Okay. Basically every country that it was in different languages. But look how big that hood is. I mean, it's as big as my hand. The hood. That's the hood. Can you imagine the middle of the car and then the end of the car? That's going to be a gigantic. It's going to be huge. To me, it's 21 inches. Let's check this out. Ooh. Oh wow, guys, this quality is crazy. Can you hear that? Guys, this feels like a hood. All right. So this feels like plastic. Okay. Preset holes here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can hear that metal. They're so small. And they give you a little screwdriver, huh? Alright guys, I upgraded. I got my Klein tools. It's an 18-in-1. So hopefully this one. Where's that part? Oh, look at this. Okay, you're gonna love this part. Look at that bat phone. Oh, it opens. First set, first stage. There's the bat phone. And pretty rad, pretty heavy piece right there. So tune in next week for another episode, another series of this Batmobile extravaganza. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.